So first tonight, one of the region's most visible landmarks, but tonight the future of the Seven Sisters flats in Rochdale is in real doubt.
Yes, most of the tenants moved out 8 years ago after the announcement of a planned redevelopment. But now the hundreds who remain have been told they also have to leave.
Well, the landlord, Rochdale Boroughwide Housing, says the buildings, whose real name is College Bank, are unsafe due to water damage plus electrical and plumbing problems.
Many of those still living there say they will refuse to budge. Our reporter Tim Scott has more.
They've loomed over Rochdale's skyline for half a century, but now the future of the Seven Sisters flats and the people who live in them is in peril. It comes after landlords RBH, Rochdale Boroughwide Housing, issued letters to residents telling them they'd all have to move out, citing safety issues in the buildings.
I was devastated. It was a bolt from the blue.
Billy Jackson's lived in the flats for nearly 30 years. He says RBH's upkeep of them has been poor and believes they want residents out for good.
RBH has took over in 2012. They've just neglected them, the lack of maintenance. They've just run them down to get people purely fed up, so they want to move out. And that is their aim. They want people out of here.
RBH haven't said they want tenants to leave permanently, but they haven't said what the long-term future holds either. The residents group here, along with the Greater Manchester Tenants Union, commissioned architects to devise a plan for renovating the flats, a plan they say has been ignored by RBH. And the task force set up to help build a future for the estate appears to have been blindsided by those letters telling residents they have to move. This all sounds like a total breakdown in communication with RBH.
Yes, you've got to say that. The mixed messages that were sent out confuse people and panic people. It brings the competence into question, and it also brings the motives into question in terms of the rushing of this through.
Do you dispute then that these flats are beyond redemption?
I don't accept that for a second. Not for a second. We'd like the opportunity to review the full surveys, as I said. Once we've had that, we'd like to work with both our architects and with RBH's architects to look at the solutions.
And for now, residents like Billy are determined to stay put, regardless of RBH's proposals. You're determined to fight any plans to get you out, any plans to demolish these flats, is that right?
We'll fight RBH all the way. I'm determined we will not be moving, and there's a lot of people with me, not going anywhere, and it'll take some force to get us out.
Well, Tim's at the Seven Sisters flats now, and Tim, Rochdale Boroughwide Housing were in the news yesterday about the story about 𝗟𝗚𝗏's law. Have they said anything more about this story?
Yes, Katie. Well, their chief executive, Amanda Newton, who declined to be interviewed, has said in a statement, "I understand how deeply unsettling this news will be for people who live in College Bank, and I am truly sorry for the uncertainty and delays over a number of years. We are committed to supporting our customers throughout, providing them with the tailored and significant support they need to find a home suitable for their individual needs." Well, joining me now is Ben Clay from the Greater Manchester Tenants Union. He's been working with people here for 7 or 8 years. Ben, there's confusion here because apparently you've had assurances from RBH's architects themselves that these buildings are fine.
Yes, they've reiterated that there's no immediate concerns, and the last thing that they wanted was for residents to be frightened by the results of the surveys.
And also, the survey that RBH have conducted, they're not sharing with you, they're not sharing with the tenants, so nobody really knows what's in that survey.
Absolutely, they've refused to share it with their tenant representatives, refused to share it with the community, refused to share it with the task force of decision makers and stakeholders that have got together to try and help them find the money to refurbish the flats.
And regarding that task force, we've got Andy Burnham on it, we've got the local Paul Wall, the local MP, on this task force. There's some heavy hitters. What do you think that meeting's going to be like on November the 5th, when they all get together and RBH are going to turn up having told the tenants here that they have to get out?
Well, I think there'll be fireworks, Tim, to be perfectly honest. I think they've treated people with contempt. We're used to them treating residents with contempt, but it's quite surprising that they would treat all those decision makers, people who've put the work in to try and find the money for this refurbishment, which Amanda Newton herself said could be an exemplar project. And they've had the wool pulled over their eyes, and they've just been totally misled by RBH.
It sounds, as far as people around here are concerned, RBH are just not doing what they should be doing.
No, and sad to say, we're talking a lot about 𝗟𝗚𝗡𝗧 law. The death of 𝗟𝗚𝗫𝗡𝗧 is something that is massive news at the moment, and that was, you know, the responsibility of RBH for that, but sadly they don't seem to have moved on.
And here we are talking about RBH again. Thank you so much, Ben. Well, it looks like this is going to run. An awful lot of bad feeling being created in the past week or so by RBH in Rochdale. We'll just have to stick with this story and see what the future holds. Katie Gamal.
Tim in Rochdale tonight, many thanks.